Welcome back to the podcast. Doing a solo episode today. Got a couple things to talk about. First thing, I want to thank everybody for supporting the podcast by buying a book at themediocrealaskan.com. You can go check that out, get a sticker, and get a signed copy by going to themediocrealaskan.com, place your order, and away we go. I've always been kind of interested in the entrepreneurial type thing, if for no other reason than to hear people talk about making things happen and getting after it. So I think even if you aren't an entrepreneur, reading books like Linchpin by Seth Godin or Atomic Habits by James Clear, they can really provide some value to your life. And it got me thinking, because I'm a podcast freelance writer, but my main job is a teacher. I started thinking about the opposite end of the entrepreneur thing, because you have entrepreneurs and you have consultants talking about how to market to people. And I thought, I'm the person, like I'm the sucker. I'm the one on the other end. So I decided to write a blog post. It's not published anywhere except for themediocrealaskan.com. And it's called The Life of an Avatar. And I just thought about how often myself and all of us consumers are looked at as avatars, as what is your ideal person, or who's the person that you're trying to sell to. And so I filled out, just kind of the basic stats, and I went through some things that just kind of annoy me, and just kind of provided some feedback. I think the two prongs. The first was providing feedback to people who might in the industry be selling something and saying, hey, this is what I like and this is what I don't like. And they can take it for what it's worth, because a lot of times the things that are good for business aren't necessarily good for customer service. And I get into that in a little bit. And then the second thing I think was maybe encouraging us as consumers to not be as, just to stand up for ourselves a little bit and demand some things change and a little bit better and stop being exploited. So I'll just briefly kind of run through the things that I mentioned and then go into a little bit of detail. And like I said, you can read the whole thing at themediocrealaskan.com. But the first thing was why I don't trust reviews and testimonials. And if you go on a website and you're looking at reviews of gear and whatnot, so many people just are excited about the fact that they took it out. And they're excited that they bought it. They're just validating the purchase. So they have no idea whether it's going to work well or not. And it just kind of misleads you. I think part of it is they're so excited about having it on their website, used on the company's website or used in the company's Instagram, that they don't even really think about who it really helps. And who it really helps are other people, other hunters who might be buying that. I'm going to go to Stone Glacier's website real quick here. Here's a good review. This is a quality review. Use this jacket on a recent Idaho whitetail hunt. Rained like crazy, but stayed dry with this jacket. It's sized just right. Quiet pocket placements are great. Makes for a great outer layer in windy and raining conditions. That is a great stinking review. That is something that is helpful. But so many of these have no help at all. In general, I happen to go to the Stone Glacier website, and this isn't an anti-Stone Glacier thing. I happen to own Stone Glacier stuff, and I love the company, and they have some great stuff, but I just don't believe that. So much of the stuff that's on there, I don't believe what's on there. And some of the marketing words that are used are just overstated. And if you have a good company, you're going to be able to stand by the company's brand and reputation. So words like bomb-proof, or game changer, I just don't. It's the easy way out now. It's so cliche, and so you either can't stand on the brand's reputation, or you just ran out of ways to describe things. And I think it's kind of a cop out, and I don't do that. So kind of a feedback there. Second thing I went into what I like about Meat Eater the show, but not the brand. And this was a tough one to articulate, because I like the show. I haven't seen any of the latest episodes, but I don't go to the website at all. And I don't know why. I thought maybe this is an example of expectation versus reality, because I thought it was going to be like I put in the blog post that I thought it was going to be the standard in good writing, with just a wide variety or wide audience. With so many of these outdoor magazines, trying to figure out a way to make it work, and more magazines are going online. And so when Meat Eater launched a couple of years ago, I just thought this was going to be the new age. This is going to be where the best writers were going to be attracted to, and they were going to have a wide variety, and just going to be a hub of all things great writing about the outdoors. But it just isn't. There's some good stuff on there. There are some good writers, but I just don't go. I don't really know why. And maybe that's just as the brand exploded. And so maybe it wasn't the website itself. Maybe it's just the explosion of the brand kind of turned me off to it, because it ceased to be what it was. It was this great show by a writer and a thinker. So it was a well thought out show, and there was some depth to it. Great camera work, great hunts. And then all of a sudden it was mega. And it just seemed like Meat Eater became this beast. And the success was so massive that, I don't know, it just, yeah. So if it's if it's a business, here I am, complaining or lamenting the days when it was a smaller business. But I don't know. When things change like that, there's just a different feel. And I mentioned in the blog post that, man, I having a burger with Steve and Giannis and Cal, like, that would be sweet. Like, who would turn that down? I think that'd be fantastic. Or do an off camera hunt with them. That'd be so great. But and there's some other great writers on there. Miles Note used to write there, and you got Stephen Klobuchar, and I read Mark Canyon's book, and there's a lot of good things about the individuals, but I don't know what it is. Just something about the brand being so big. I've just kind of lost my interest in all things Meat Eater that's not really related to the show. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's a fix to it, as I say in there. I think it's just a matter of change, I guess. I'm just not sure. Third thing I talk about is why I buy Stone Glacier, and I initially got a pack from a buddy, and that's just by happenstance. Like, that's the only reason why I'm running Stone Glacier rather than Kifaru or Mystery Ranch or EXO. Just a buddy, and then that turns you on to the brand. And then you start paying attention to other things, and you maybe buy another couple products, and just how they treat you as a customer, then you end up being a customer. It ends up being your brand, and for no other reason than a buddy happened to have it, and I happened to try it on. That's one of the problems in Alaska, is that we don't have an outdoor store, or Southeast Alaska here. Actually, Ketchikan, because Juneau does have a Sportsman's Warehouse, but not having the chance to try these things on, and you could try it on. It's an expensive pack, and you just don't want to go through the hassle of ordering something, and you try it a little bit and have to send it back. Like, being able to try it on, being able to put some weight in it, walk around, and make that call is just huge. And that's just how funny it is. And you get that first piece of gear, and how the company then treats you from that point on is what makes you a loyal customer. Yeah, you can make one good product, and that's it, for no other reason. That's why you're running Stone Glacier. Or you buy one product and it's not what you thought it would be, and it tears, breaks, or whatever, and then you can't get over that. And that's kind of where the way I am with First Light. Bought a pair of the pants, and they ripped when I was hiking through some buckbrush up in the Alpine, and I just kind of caught on it, and it probably wasn't the best of terrain for pants that don't stretch a little bit, and just tore. I thought, ooh, well, that's not great. They weren't totally comfortable, and then they tore pretty easily, and I thought, well, it maybe wasn't made for that sort of terrain. No big deal. I mean, what does survive in some of these areas, right? You're gonna put the gear through the ringer. That means it's gonna it doesn't matter what brand it is. It's going to have a difficult time when you're really getting after it. So I thought, nah, it's fine. Bought a rain jacket from them, and it leaked almost immediately. So kind of had two strikes against it, and I just haven't gone back. I have a hoodie from them. Well, that's it. I just can't. I've found other ways whenever I need to replace something. I just go to either Sitka or Stone Glacier. And First Light, I'm sure, has much better stuff. That was about 3-4 years ago when I had those pants rip, and I just haven't. It hasn't occurred to me to go back or buy anything else, and it's just kind of it. I know there's people who wear First Light and love it, and that's fine, but just that one experience is all that it takes. And so if you have a brand and how you treat the customers and the quality of stuff, it all goes into it. And I'm sure they got some great people working at First Light, but it's not my brand.
After years of fine print contracts and getting ripped off by big wireless providers, if we've learned anything, it's that there's always a catch. So when I first heard that Mint Mobile offers premium wireless starting at just $15 a month, I thought, what's the catch? But after talking to them and using their service, it all made sense. There isn't one. Mint Mobile's secret sauce is that they're the first company to sell wireless service online only. They cut out the cost of retail stores and pass those sweet savings directly to you. For anyone who hates their phone bill, Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. I was hesitant about having to get a new phone and a new phone number, but with Mint, you can use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and keep your same phone and your same phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Mint Mobile gives you the best rate whether you're buying for one or for a family, and at Mint, families start at 2 lines. All plans come with unlimited talk and text plus high-speed data delivered on the nation's largest 5G network. Switch to Mint Mobile and get premium wireless service starting at just $15 a month. To get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month and to get the plan shipped to your door for free, go to mintmobile.com/waypoint. That is mintmobile.com/waypoint. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/waypoint.
That customer service thing is so huge, especially with, or not especially with, but definitely with social media as well. And who represents the brand. And there are so many people who are so eager to have their review or their content or their tagged photos. And I'm one of them too. Like, I will tag companies that I like when I'm using their gear, and if they use it, cool. But they have like some provocative shot or some, push the limits, try to stand out sort of shot or something. And then if the company ends up using that or sharing that, it kind of validates that and almost becomes like a promotion, not only of like what the product was, but also that style of hunting. And that's where things can run into some trouble. You see with, if you follow Copper Plated Sixes on Instagram, you see that he's pretty relentless in his calling out of companies and the content that they share. And it's like a representation of their company, and it's different. It's a different feel from some of them. You think they just make a good product, and they're about, just helping people out. And then all of a sudden, you see what's shared, and it can give you a different idea of what that company is, and whether or not you want to follow it going forward. I mean, there's a ton of companies that are vying for our attention and for our money. So we don't have to settle. And who knows what it is. In the same way that it was just a chance that a buddy had a Stone Glacier pack, and that's why I run Stone Glacier. In the same way, you can be kind of up for grabs as an avatar, as a customer, and you're scrolling through social media, and there's just something that's posted, and it just kind of hits you the wrong way, and it's, I don't know, like, if all things are equal, am I going to go KUIU or Sitka? And then all of a sudden you see a video and you're like, oh, well, that made up my mind. I'm going this brand or this brand. It can be like that. Like, so many companies make great gear, great packs, great camo. There's really such a thin divider between all this stuff. Maybe someone likes a different camo pattern, but I'm not sure if people are that well know that. I know they are into that because they come out with a whole new like, not even whole new, just a different shade, and we just sell all the year-old stuff for the new stuff. You spend $500 on a system, and then the next year they come out with a slightly altered design, and then we sell the old and buy the new. What in the world are we doing? I mean, if you can afford it, I guess go for it, but that's that marketing stuff. Oh, this is so much better. It's not going to make you a better hunter. You either can do it or you can't. Like that, if I buy a newer Sitka pattern, that's not going to help me be a better deer hunter. If I suck at hunting, if the wind destroys me, or I don't pay attention to the wind, or if I'm too loud, or if I don't, that's my fault. That's not the camo. There are times when it's good to have good camo and can make up for some mistakes, but they just prey on us as needing the new thing. And you see people who are buying like the new bows too. $1,000 for, this is last year's model. You kidding me? Last year's model for the current archery stuff that we have. Now think about what Fred Bear was using. And we're going to say that, this bow is 2 or 3 years old. The technology's improved. Like, are you really? They market us. They just make suckers out of us. And there's some people obviously can afford that. Joe Rogan's not going to be, he can get whatever he wants. It's probably all for free. But if you want to just throw his money around and get the new stuff, then that's totally fine. But those of us who are saving up money and we're trying to figure out, are we going to buy new points? Are we going to go on one big trip? We're going to buy new gear. And they're marketing us, and we can't afford the extra $1,000 for that. That could be a whole new experience. $1,000 gets you round trip from pretty much anywhere in the U.S. up to Alaska. You add a couple more $100 and you have a whole on experience. Alaska is like $1,300. I think you can fly up round trip. You can stay somewhere. You can have an experience in Alaska for $1,300. And companies are trying to get you to buy the whole new system of camo. Someone's going to try a whole brand new bow that's got this new little camo or new little whatever. Alaska. You can have an Alaskan experience, or you can go somewhere else for an experience. If you're in Alaska, like us Alaskans, we can go down south if we want, or I can go up to make a hunt happen for moose or something over the counter that I can get here. I can either do that or I can buy more gear. And they just prey on that. They just prey on this. We're bored, so let's shop. And that's what January and February is all about. It's about making us feel bored, making us feel like we need new stuff, and so we just start spending. It's stupid. And I'm saying it's stupid because I stinking know exactly what it is. I was the guy who did that. It's dumb. It's dumb. In addition to that, you have companies that are marketing stuff that's overpriced, trying to get us to buy stuff over and over again. And some stuff's not good, right? There's no money in really, really good craftsmanship. If we look at like Apple, things like that, it's just consumables. That's where the money is. An Apple computer that lasts 15 years, it would be obsolete, but you could get it with your cell phones too. Like the self-destruct mechanism on a cell phone starts like 4 months in. You're on borrowed time, and the thing is just going to die because there's no money in a cell phone that lasts for a long time. In a different sort of way, there's a lot of stuff in the content realm of the outdoors. They're trying to sell programs, and entrepreneurs sell time and whatnot, and there's some of that stuff is pretty greasy and sleazy. And in the article that I posted, I talk about luxury car commercials and how most of us don't want a Lexus. And it's easy for us to just roll our eyes at it or not care about it. Like the brain turns off when there's a Lexus or a BMW. It's a nice looking car. I'm not into it. But there are so many people out there who are trying to prey on the same sort of thing. Like, what is the Mercedes-Benz of hunting? It's like that 180 mule deer, or it's that 6-point elk, or it's that whatever. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're trying to sell us on something that if we had this, our lives would be better. and so we buy some time, we buy something else that's supposed to make things better for us because we need to be validated by having this deer or this elk or this whatever, and this person is going to be able to guide us to it. I will say I did subscribe to the Elk 101 University of Elk Hunting, and that was good. I thought that was a good investment. It was about, I think it was $100, and it all came down to the fact that who was selling it. And Corey Jacobson's not like you don't get a used car vibe from Corey Jacobson. So just the way he talks, his show, he and Donnie are just who they are. And it's not performative and awkward and weird. It's just guys that are hunting, guys that know what they're doing. And so his engineering background, or just something, the way that he breaks things down, made me think this is probably going to be a pretty good, pretty useful thing. And so downloaded it, and it's got a cool app. You can have it on your phone. And so when I was down hunting with my wife, we got cell phone reception a couple times, and we're just kind of reviewing some of these things about the movement, especially with the thermals and whatnot. It's good to review that. It's stuff that I don't pay much attention to it up here in Alaska. So that was pretty sweet. I will say that was worth the money. You can update every year, but that was good. But there's a lot of stuff out there. I don't know if it's the way. It could be great stuff, but it just does not at all seem like something that's going to bring value. Instead, it just looks like it's going to be a way that they can make money. And if I sell this course, I've done this, and I don't trust much of it. I was actually kind of surprised that I bought the Corey Jacobson thing, but it was definitely worth it. But there's so much other stuff out there that's just totally crap. And it's like an entrepreneur just trying to make money, imagining, their new truck or whatever that they're going to buy. And so how can I make this extra money? And it's gross. It's gross. I will admit that there is an irony in the fact that I have a podcast and I have ads on it. So is there a difference? Well, not really, but I do hope that I'm providing some value. And my main goal here is to provide value. All the content is available, and you can either, when you're doing a podcast, you can do a Patreon, and you can have some of the stuff held back, and so Patreon members get exclusive content. You can have no ads. You can sell your own ads. There's just a lot of ways that you can try to make a podcast, make up for the gear that you have, and make up for the hosting and whatnot. So it's not as though I am giving everything away from free, and I'm not thinking about money at all, but it just seems that there are some people who are marketing things who forget that there's a human being behind the avatar, and that human being is looking for something that's going to improve their lives and bring value to their lives. It's not just this faceless someone who has money and you want to take it from them. So if you want to go to the mediocrealaskan.com and check out that blog post, Life of an Avatar, you can give that a read. I'd appreciate it. That'd be great. So, I think we'll call that there. Call that this week's episode. Got some cool stuff coming up. Just went to the 1 week or one per episode. Things have kind of slowed down a little bit in Alaska, and building a house with my wife. Well, we are not building it, but our builder is building it, and we're making a lot of decisions and dealing with the loans and looking at contingency plans for stuff if prices keep going up and whatnot. So it's kind of a wild time to be building a house, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So really excited for that. Pretty busy with that. Obviously busy with school and other writing projects. So I appreciate you listening, and that'll do it. Talk next time.